Good evening. Hey, my name is Jader. I'm the founder of Black Label Closers, an organization dedicated to help people become highly effective in high ticket sales. And we're here tonight. Today's Thursday, the 28th of August. We are at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, and 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Those are the times if you want to listen to a good training. I have a pile of videos that you can just go through from the first time that I did a video all the way to now, and you can get yourself a $10,000 training course right there. Just right there, just for you, right? And if you want to interact, you can drop comments, subscribe. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm gonna have a 7 p.m. Open house training with a live training like we're doing tonight, and I can answer questions. If you guys interact, I can read. Sometimes we have a lot of people, sometimes we have a few people, sometimes we don't have anybody. It really depends. All right, I'm not like chasing customers or chasing followers. I'm just doing the lives. If there are people, fine. If there are a lot of people, great. If just a few people, 3, 5, 10, it doesn't matter. I'm still here, and I'll do this until 2030. I think is the end of the world. I don't know. I'm not sure. If it's 2035, we'll still do it. 2020, and or I die first, whichever. Right. So. A lot of things happening in the world, guys. Earthquakes, massive earthquakes, rivers overflowing, flooding cities, and doing all kinds of things. People are going to be a lot more constrained as far as mobility, and I don't know what's going to happen. The world is turning into an interesting place, and you just got to. You want to make sure that you are equipped to be able to go through a transition, and having the skill to be able to sell, especially sell something that's high ticket, will put in your back pocket a possibility just in case if the field or the industry that you belong to gets occupied and taken over by AI. And I don't want to be the messenger of bad news or negative news, but 98 million jobs will be taken over in the next. I've been saying this for 5 years, so now it's 4 years, right? I'm sorry, I've been saying this for a year, so now it's 4 years. Because when I found this out, it was 5 years, so it's been a year ago. Just to give you a heads up, a whole warehouse of workers for Amazon went on strike because they wanted better conditions. So they went out on strike a whole week. And then Jeff Bezos said, yeah, all right, so a week is enough time for me to test out these new AI robots and see how they perform. Well, they did 100 times the work that the entire crew in that warehouse did, all right? All right, this is going to be a conversation probably for high ticket. Then I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to answer the call right now. All right, talk to me. Hey, wait, hold on. You're going to ask me for a little bit of training, right? Right now? All right. Do you mind? I'm doing a live. Do you mind if I put you on a phone? We don't need to talk about your name. It's being recorded. That's all. Do you mind that or not? All right, perfect. I'm going to put you on a speakerphone. Okay. All right, let's do it.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So I'm going to put you next to the mic, and this is going to be a question that one of my salespeople has, and I'm going to answer the question. Go ahead, man. What's the question?
So I I know that one of the things that is pertinent to the training that you trained me on is to always have the decision maker on the call, which is his wife.
Right.
And this is a matter of we couldn't get her on the call a week ago, so he asked me to call back this week because we were going on vacation, and I don't want to get too much in the weeds, but I called him again today. He answered. He's ready to chat about foreclosure training, completely interested, but his wife wants nothing to do with it, yet she's going to play a decision maker in him investing in real estate.
Okay. All right. So what you're saying is he's going to take he's going to go through the conversation by himself. His wife is not going to join. Is that what you're saying?
He actually asked her, like when we were on the phone, he said, "Hey, honey, I want to take this training. This is a meeting regarding foreclosure that I've been searching up. Will you join me on this meeting?" And she said, "Hell no, I don't want anything to do with that."
Okay. All right. So here's a classic opportunity to understand the psychology of something that we already predict every time. 90% of the people that are married who are or have a W-2 job, typically they are, they want to hear, right? They want to hear if there's an opportunity. They want to be together. They want to make that decision together. In this case, which is an exception, the wife doesn't want to be there. What do we do, right? So what we're going to do is, tell me what you already set up the appointment. Did you already set it up?
Yeah, like I just got off the phone with him. He's good for tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. I was just about to book it. I just figured I'd call you and tell you.
Okay, so you guys you haven't booked it physically, but conceptually you guys already booked the call, right?
You got it, yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, so tell me a little bit about what you said to him to encourage him to make a decision. How is he going to make a decision? So he's going to think about it once, or he's going to consult after he gets the facts from me and all that stuff. He's going to talk to her.
So what I mentioned is I said, okay, well, Tom, if you're going to be in this investing realm, let's say you come across a deal and you need to pull the trigger on it. Is this a matter of you need to go and ask your wife for permission, or can you do that on your own? He said, oh, no, I want to get her consideration. So then I got him to double down and ask her on the phone with me. That's when she said, hell no. And then he's like, you know what? Let me just take the call. I really want to chat with the senior director. And then if I need to talk to her, I will after.
Okay. So the judgment call for you was, I can't get the wife. And the paradox is he needs the wife there. So I couldn't get the wife because the wife is just being stubborn. She doesn't want to get on the phone. But for the intent and purposes of what we're doing, she needs to get there. She needs to be on the phone. So what to do, right? So you had two decisions, one decision to make out of two decisions, two possibilities. Book the call or not book the call based on the principle. So basically you book the call, which is it's a good call. Now it's going to be up to me when I close a deal, right? When I get on the phone with the guy, it's going to be up to me to challenge him on two fronts. One, your wife, you love your wife so much that you depend on her decision. The fact that she's not here tells me that she's not going to be supportive of any decision you make because she doesn't trust you. And I'm just going to tell him flat out, she doesn't respect you enough as an investor for her to let you make decisions on your own. So you have two routes to take here. One route is you stay where you are and you have to just suck it up and never live up to the expectations that you have to be able to fulfill your life, right? That's you just basically your life depends on the person you love the most, and that person does not want you to make changes for the better, for a better future. Or the second route is I love my wife so much to the point that I'm going to have to just go against her opinion. And if she's going to yell at me, great. But as soon as I make $100,000-$200,000, I'm pretty sure she's going to be okay with me making this decision at that point. So I'm going to have to challenge him on that, right? So that's exactly how what's going to happen right now. We already have the appointment. He really wants it. Listen, I had a lady one time getting that I pitched, and she heard her husband coming in the door, and she went to the garage, hid underneath the car, and gave me her credit card number because that's how much she wanted it. So
Wow.
this guy's gonna have to take his balls out of his wife's purse, put him on in his crotch, and just make it happen. If he loves his wife that much, he's gonna have to go against her opinion about him not being able to invest. So it's gonna be up to me to do that.
Gotcha.
But I think you did what you were supposed to do. So pretty good job, man. That's a pretty good job that you did there. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, brother. You're gonna be on TV.
Nice.
All right, my man. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Thank you for your help.
All right, bye bye. There you go. I'm helping a company come up. This is what I do best: is helping companies, that have high ticket, especially coaching programs. In this case, real estate investing, which is my forte. We have the case. We have and I'm glad that this call happened right now because it's just going to go along with what we're going to talk about. And so you heard that conversation. So I'm going to put a pin on this conversation, and I'm going to make this conversation and the points that I have based on what we just heard. I hope you guys were able to hear him talk, but we are going to go for this right now. So, all right. So the title is Intonation. So everybody gets it, right? How my intonation is during the call will set the precedent for me to gain that respect. If I have an intonation that is timid, weak, fragile, of course, I'm not going to be able. So remember, just remember this and memorize this. If you act cheap, you cannot ask for high ticket money. You have to act expensive so that you can ask for high ticket money, right? It's plain and simple. Intonation is everything. So we're going to go with the first. Well, let's go with the first item here. Sequence. All right. So we're going to go with sequence here. What does that mean? So sequence pertains to the steps of my sentences or the order of concepts inside the sentences for me to convey a thought, a statement, which is going to come with opinions, perspectives, different things like that, right? So sequence has to do with how much I'm going to be able to tie different concepts and make one strong concept made out of smaller junior concepts, right, if you will. So important to understand how to take that sequence, how to find congruency within the sequence, right, so that you can talk and take the person. You can take the person through the right path, not skipping a step and not getting stuck on a step. You have to understand that sequence is made out of different thoughts that you're going to convey, and you cannot be redundant and you cannot linger inside concepts, and you have to make smooth transitions. All right. So that's the first thing we have to understand and get clarity. So everything that I've said, even in this conversation right now, it took you through a process so that you understood exactly what I'm trying to explain as far as the sequence, because I have a sequence of thoughts, right? My thoughts are sequential in an organized fashion so that you understand that what I'm talking about pertains to on the order of things that make sense in order for one big thing to make sense, right? If that makes sense. So that's sequence. That's it. That's basically what it is. I mean, if I keep embellishing it, it's just going to be that embellishing, right? But let's talk about rhythm. This is where it gets interesting, right? Rhythm. You have it or you don't. That's a fallacy. I'm sorry, that's a song. right? Uh, so rhythm. Let me let me just give you all the points because I think it's important that you get. So I got sequence, rhythm, speeds, punchlines, right, and proper use of language, and do not be weird. So let me go up to punchlines, sequence, rhythm, speeds, and punchlines. All those things have to be in harmony so that you create respect. So intonation is going to be first. I know I made it the title. I should have also made it a point, one of the bullet points, right? But let's break it down before we separate and isolate each point so that we can bring it together. So intonation, you're gonna place your voice, and I think this is very important. I don't understand when people are being trained. I don't understand why trainers. I'm not saying all of the trainers. I'm saying some trainers do not do not pay attention to this. Do not talk about this, and I think it has to do with the fact that they were never taught. So a lot of them don't teach it, right? When you are a mechanical salesperson and you become a trainer because you did good enough to train, you're just going to worry about you're going to be concerned with only the technicalities of the process. You're not going to be concerned with the psychology. To me, this is psychology first, technicality second. Trust me, it's technicality. You can figure everything out if you have the right psychology, right? So intonation, you're going to place your voice you're going to place your voice somewhere where you feel, and I call it the stereo voice, on your radio voice. Be careful, do not make it weird. So my radio voice, hi, this is Hot Nights 43.5 FM. That's not the voice I'm talking about. I'm talking about Pays, Wall Street journalist type of a voice that's in that we're going to talk about speed, voice that's paced. Now, when we get to speed, we're going to find different speeds, right? So find a voice that's soothing, not ridiculous, right? But a voice, if you have a high pitch, I need you to bring that voice down. If you have a really deep voice, then bring that voice up a little bit. You're going to find your voice, right? That voice, because if you have a high pitched voice, um, when you need to be emphatical and that's going to require to heighten your pitch, you're going to sound disconcerting at best. So you got to be careful if you have a high, if your natural pitch, and you got to be careful what you're calling natural. Sometimes we got bad habits in life. Your voice is not up here. Just put it out there because the where you grew up, people talk up here or whatever. But you can find it. Find your mid-range voice, right? And you're gonna make it sound right. You're gonna keep it there, right? So that's gonna be your intonation. First stop, right? First pit stop, right there. Intonation. Find your stereo voice, not ridiculous stereo voice, not the sexy midnight type of hey ladies, right? I'm the ladies man kind of voice. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about business stereo voice. All right. So that's intonation, guys. And we talked about the sequence. We already talked about that. Let's go to rhythm. Here's where things get really interesting, like I said before. So the rhythm is you start boom, boom, playing with your rhythm, right? So you call somebody, hey, how you doing? My name is Jader. I'm giving you a call from X, Y, and Z. The reason why I'm giving you a call is you expressed an interest. Tell me a little bit about that. You see, you heard my voice, very calm, and I paced myself. I was not going, hey, how you doing? My name is Jader. I'm giving you a call because I'm now, you entered, and then I'm don't easy. You don't have to rush. Don't make it too slow. Don't make it boring, guys. Hey, my name is Jader, and I'm giving you a call because don't do that. Just go to the point. Be logical. Be a conscientious person and a conscious person. Both are important. Conscientious means you have presence of mind. Conscious means you are in the now. You understand what's going on, right? So you're conscious. Um, and you pick up your rhythm. Now your rhythm is going to change, right? Sometimes you're going to boom, 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 boom. Now that doesn't necessarily mean speed. Rhythm and speed are two different things. Doesn't mean that because I pick up my rhythm, I'm picking up my speed. My words are going faster. No, what I'm picking up is the rhythm. I'm making it more emphatical. I'm making sure that the person on the other end of the phone understands that what I'm saying right now has a certain tempo about it, right? And I make it go, right? I need to make sure that the person understands. This is what's going to create. Um, Sometimes I talk a little bit more than typically salespeople feel comfortable. But here's the reason why salespeople don't feel comfortable. They have to ask questions because if they don't ask questions, they're so nervous that if they talk too much, the customer is going to be bored, and then they're going to lose a customer. And the reason for that is because they're not good talkers. See, to be a good communicator, you have to understand how to dominate. So what happens when you have to give a 1 hour presentation? You're not going to be able to keep people interested. You're not going to be interesting enough to keep people interested because you don't know how to do that. You need to be asking questions. No, you have to learn to be interesting enough so that I've been on a phone talking for 3 minutes straightforward. I don't give a damn. I talk because I need to explain a point, and they love it when I do that. And they're serious. They're stuck um, to the phone, listening to me. I know exactly when I ask them a question, and they answer the question that I'm asking them. Why? Because I've earned that respect through the sequence, through the rhythm, through the speeds. That's my third point right now. Speed. What does that mean? Sometimes I'm going to go really fast, and I'm going to slow down. And I'm going to pick up the pace, and I'm going to slow down. And I'm going to pick up the speed and pick up the speed, keep it sped up, and then drop it, slow down, then mid range speed, and keep it there. I don't do this randomly. It's not like, oops, time to pick it up or time to slow down. That's not what I do, guys. There's a topic, and there are topics. For instance, John, do you understand how incredibly important it is for you to realize that within 5 years, 98 million jobs will be lost to AI? Do you understand that? You see how I took my time to say that? I slow down, I slow the pace, I slowed the speed and the rhythm. I took those both down. But if I want to say something like, it is important to realize that at this time, real estate is the number one place in the industry to be able to monetize with, to be monetizable. I picked up the speed. I was emphatical. I forgot to put being emphatical. You're going to be emphatical in certain places. Well, let me, and punchline. I forget about punchline is my fourth point. So let's go in order, right? So you got sequence. We already talked about that. Rhythm, which is the rhythm of the topic, not necessarily the words, how fast I'm saying the words, right? Speeds and punchlines. So the speed. Some topics are important to slow down and take your time, and some topics are important to speed up, and some others are important to just keep it mid range. Don't get a speeding ticket. There are places where you can just go at it 110 miles an hour. That's when you find the Autobahn, right? That highway in Germany that you can, the minimum's 100, right? and then you get back to Long Island Expressway, where you can only go 75 tops. I think 75 is tops, right? So you got to make sure you understand that. All right, so let's 10 30, okay, 35, 35. All right, let's talk about how important punchlines are. So guys, punchlines. One of the things that when you're on the phone, not on a physical call, in one of the um, one of the new things about life after, especially after the pandemic, is the fact that now we have remote jobs, right? We have remote jobs. So most people are working from home, right? Whether you're a salesperson, an architect, an engineer, a lot of people work from home, right? Accountants, uh, coordinators, so all kinds of jobs are done from home. So here's the thing: I recommend for companies to. A lot of companies want to do everything on video, which is great. Video is great, but video will take away from the phone. Um, for several reasons. And I don't want to get too much into this because I have a video about a complete training, open house training about this and why I believe the phone is relevant and it helps the customer and you. They don't want to, both the customer, or I'm just going to talk about the prospect. The prospect doesn't want to be on a video, especially if you have a wife. Women tend to be a little more careful with the way they look. They want to make sure everything in the background looks great, and they just came from work and they're tired. Oh, now I have to go take a shower. I have to go just um, you know pretty up a little bit or whatever it is. And people just don't want. Can we just not do it tonight? You're gonna have a lot more cancellations of appointments without even giving you a chance to get on a video when you have video calls and when you have phone calls. A phone call is practical. You press the speaker phone. She could be in underwear, in her underwear. The husband could be, just wearing his socks, and they're just talking to you. Nobody cares, right? But at the same time, you're going to be able to have a better domination. If you understand how to dominate, how to posture people, you're not going to have any problem. Uh, One of the comments that I've had is, yeah, but how do you keep people from getting distracted if you can't see them? Because that's what character is. If you have no character, even in front of the camera, they're just gonna taunt you, right? So you can be trained on how to do things, but you can't be trained on personality. Or you know what? Actually, this does have a great deal of opportunity for you to grow as far as your personality. I have no idea how many times I've been approached by trainees coming back and saying, "Hey, dude, I went through your training, and let me tell you, my level of confidence just grew so much." Even one of the owners of or one of the companies that I help, come from no sales to hundreds of thousands of dollars a week in sales, came to me and said, "Jader, even now I'm posturing people, like even in my personal life, because of what you have taught the guys, and I've been paying attention to you." This is one of the CEOs of the companies, one of the founders of one of the companies that I helped. I digress. Let me get back to the important part here. So, punchlines. When you are training people, and this is the reason why I started talking about the videos. When you're training people, you want them to read off a script. You give them a script, right? Because you want them to get used to the order. They don't know the product. They don't know what the pitch is or how to organize the pitch. So you give them that organization on a script, and they read that script. That then later on, when they become really proficient, then they'll learn it. They make it theirs, And they don't have to use a script. I've seen some of the best salespeople using script always. But that's I don't use one, but I've seen people really good, really powerful closers using scripts. So when you have someone on the screen on a video call, the problem is you have a script right next to your, but it's obvious. I can tell when people are looking straight at me, but they're reading. I can tell. And half of these guys, I'm sorry to say this, especially you, new generation, for those who are young, a lot of you don't know how to read. So you need to practice. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm trying to be practical. You guys, it's not your fault. It's the failure of the system. You guys, a lot of, especially because you guys don't train on reading a lot. So anyway, the point here is not the system or how you read or how fast or slow. The point here is that if you're on the video call, I've caught people pitching me reading off a script. I don't like that. And the reason why I don't like someone reading off a script in front of the video call, and me being a trainer and understanding that that's necessary for them to go through, it still hits me as a customer as something disingenuous. To be honest with you, I don't find it very genuine. I just find it a little bit taunting. But when you're on the phone, you can have the script. You can read off the script. If you practice the script enough, you're going to be able to use your sequence, use your rhythms, use your speeds. And here's what's very important. And if you're a trainer, you're training someone, do not cut them loose on the phone unless they understand more or less how to land on their punchlines. And this is the problem with people who don't know how to read, is that they don't study the script and then they want to read the script on the call and they read it and they're running their sentences and then there's a punchline somewhere, they miss the punchline and then they realize once they're like 3 blocks away from the punchline when they should have made a turn or stop, and now they try to make whatever line they're on the punchline, and it screws the entire sequence. The speed didn't work, the rhythm is chaotic, it's a mess. If you do not understand your punchlines and what the punchlines are and how to land on the right punchlines, you are going to screw things over. If you have your sequence right, if you're carrying your rhythm in the right tempo, if you're speeding up and slowing down or mid-range speed in the right way, and you're landing the punchline at the right time in the right moment, you are having a killer day or a killer. And now this is if you have your intonation, if you have everything. And there's one more factor that's going to help you is being on your toes. This is something no one is going to be able to train anyone on, is people that want to be attorneys, salespeople, trade commodity, traders, whatever it is that has to do with convincing and persuading others, have to have character. Period. If you don't have character in your life, then learn it. And the character comes with confidence. So it's not something you have to be born with, but it's something you have to learn how to master. Some people are born with that. I know I wasn't. I was not born with character. I was a very timid kid. I was kind of very introverted, right? That was my nature. And one day I exploded. Maybe I was born with it. I just never understood it, but I know that at some point I had to make myself aware that I needed to incorporate character in the way that I was going to approach the world, and I did, and it helped me a ton. It made me a ton of money. So I'm telling you, you have to have character, right, to be able to do this. There's no one is going to be the only way you're going to be able to be. If you're a timid person, first of all, it's going to be really tough for you to get a sales job, right? Second, if you do get a sales job and it's a pretty good sales job, then you're going to have to push yourself. And how do you push yourself? Uh, role play, role play, role play, role play, and be willing to be criticized. Be willing to be murdered in the way they criticize you. Don't start thinking you're being bullied. Don't start thinking that you're being offended or all these stuff that most people are talking about nowadays, that everything is no, you want to make money, you have to trade off your feelings for money. So you got to trade, not your principles. I'm not talking about your principles. I'm talking about your feelings. You have to grow. I have customers on the line that I don't agree with their lifestyle, but I have to make a conscientious understanding or become conscientiously I have to be conscientious of the fact that people are entitled to live their lives the way they want to live their lives. I'm here as a professional. I should not allow my feelings to be mixed with, and honestly, in the beginning of those conversations, my judgment comes up and I say, well, oh, really? And then at the end of the call, wonderful people. My personal prejudice came in and I shouldn't. So when I learned that, I learned I'm just gonna see people for what they are, just people, what they do, how they do it. It's none of my business. I'm here for a reason. We're here to be professional. All right. Let's talk about the next point. I really like this session today, guys. It's magnificent. I love it. We're killing it. All right. So the next one is proper use of the language. All right, proper use of the language. Very simple. I'm not going to waste a lot of time here because if you use, if you want to sound fancy and you're saying words, you're plugging them in a bad place, you're not going to sound fancy. You are going to sound very stupid, extremely stupid, and you will lose whatever little respect, if you had any, or if you had it, if you had big respect, if they had if you gain big respect, you're gonna lose it right there altogether. It's gonna be almost close to impossible to get it back. If I meant um, phobia of being in enclosed places, and I say vertigo, oh, being in an elevator gives me the vertigos. You're done. You're done. Only if the person on the other end of the phone do not know what that is, maybe you can save the day. But do not venture. Stay within your vocabulary, but sound smart. You don't have to have a fancy vocabulary to sound smart. You can have very simple vocabulary. Make sure it's the right vocabulary. Make sure it's the right grammar so that you can properly talk to customers, to prospects, and sound smart. Stay within your limitations. If you have a large vocabulary, by all means, impress the hell out of people. I don't believe in this nonsense that emulate mirror your customer. If they're using this language, then you use that language. I don't care if somebody's cursing, f this and f that and f that. I'm not going to curse. I'm going to show that person he's dealing with a professional individual, and guess what? That person is going to feel that maybe they start toning it down. That's typically what I find out. Right. So use proper language. Yeah, don't start cursing. You should not. If at some point, depending on the company that you work for, how professional you are, if at some point the guy curses and you decide to drop the f bomb one time, hey, that's not gonna hurt. I don't advise it, but given the conditions, your boss doesn't care. Maybe the industry where you're in, it's a little bit like that, right? Like wise guys type of industry where maybe you're selling some betting equipment, right, for people to bet on football. A lot of betting people are streetwise, so or street smart. So It is what it is. I'm just throwing ideas out there and opinions, right? Last but not least, oh guys, don't be weird. Do not be weird. Do not be weird. Don't say weird things. Please don't say weird things. Don't laugh. Be careful the way you laugh. Don't, not like that. If that's your natural way to laugh, don't. All right. Just be careful with how professional you appear to be. The more they consider you to be a professional, the more they're going to respect you, follow your guidance, and give you high ticket money. All right. All right. That's all I have for today. I'm glad we had that conversation, and I'll keep you in the loop as far as what happened to that sell. If I was able to convince the guy, because that's going to be my ability to be able to convince that guy. I'm not going to be able to convince the wife. The wife is not going to give me a chance. She's not going to get on the phone, and he's not the type of guy who's going to go out there and say, "You get on the phone because I need this." No, the guy is just honey. So I'm going to have to convince him to be a rebel. See if we can. Right. So I've had a lot of success in many times with that. All right, guys. Catch you on the flip. My name is Jader. I am the founder of Black Label Closers. You can go to www.blacklabel-closers.com. You can come to YouTube, subscribe, hit like, make a comment, disagree. Let me know what you think. If you have a question, ask a question. Let's interact. Be here every Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know, do the math. If you're in the Pacific and the West Coast, or Mountain Time, Central Time, whatever. All right. So I'll see you here next time. I'll see you. Have a great weekend and behave, and don't party too hard. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.